What up, my friends? How you doing? It's Saturday night, chill stream time, the Wheel of Duskmourn, because we still have Duskmourn booster packs that we can open, some of which have awesome art cards, like this guy right here. I really like this, honestly. I wish this guy had featured in the story, man, because he's pretty funky looking. I don't know anything about Victor, but I definitely dig the vibe of this artwork. All right, so let's grab the live stream link. We'll share that in the Discord, and then we will do our hellos. All right, bam. There's a part of me that worries one day I'm gonna accidentally spam some other Discord with my live stream link and then be like, oh, oops. Okay, there we go. That's good. And switch this up. That's good. All right, beautiful. What up, Gossett, Rays, Corner, Jess, Millmaster, Heavy Metal, Zircon, Shelton. Who else is in here? Moxman, Kevin, Blightsteel, Otto, Scorpageist, Sandwich, Kenzuki. There we go. We got all of the hellos. Hello, my friends. How has the day been treating you? My day's been pretty good. Pretty good overall. I don't really have any... well, I mean, I can always find something to complain about. There's always something. But overall, it's been quite a good day. Me and Carly have been putting the finishing touches on our first movie review we've done together. The video's about an hour and a half long. We've been coming up with some thumbnails and ideas of what we're going to call it, all this stuff. So we've got that fun project we've been doing together. And I've been busting loose a bit of Minecraft in the last recent batch of time, honestly, and I've been having fun with it. So overall, it's been a chill day. Plus, there was the earlier live stream that we did where we played some more Duskmourn Plinko. So if you missed that, it's over on the stream archive. You can check that out whenever you want to, right? What are we talking about here? Scorpageist, why do I know that? Why do I know that quote? A bottle of Shasta and a Rush mixtape. Splendor, I'm looking younger. It's because I've traveled back in time. I've reversed the flow of time. I've decided to Benjamin Button myself. What up, JD? How you doing, buddy? How is life treating you? Anthroplasm, what's up? What's down? What's east? What's west? How about that? What's in various directions away from you? So yeah, it's been a chill day. It's been a chill day. I went to the grocery store and I didn't pick them up, but I looked at these Lucky Charm granola bar things and was like, I think I'm gonna pick up some more random foods to try out on a live stream, either via the wheel or some other way. But they look like they're gonna be ridiculous, like just way too sugary and over the top. I feel like one bite and you're just gonna be like, this is like the worst possible way to have this. Also, I can't believe that Lucky Charms cereal is considered a way to start your day. You know what I mean? For kids. Yeah, they want sugar. They're crackheads. They don't know. But the idea of eating a bunch of candy for breakfast blows my mind. Bo Falcon Super Chat says, what's the dealio? Spin that wheelio. Is that an oily fans option on the wheel? Yeah, that's it. If we spin that, then I will upload. I'll upload the cheeks on OnlyFans. Okay. You're lower to the board. And we're going to spin that wheel. Sandwich, did I end up getting barbecue chips? No, not yet. Not the like the honey barbecue, the weird ones I was talking about. Is that what you mean? I definitely haven't picked those up yet. Boxman seems like grocery stores have less groceries and more junk food. There are like a few aisles of every grocery store dedicated to junk food, right? So I feel like there is more healthy food, but you're not wrong in that there's a ton of junk food. I saw a picture of some kids from like the fucking 50s or 60s playing on their bikes, and all these kids were fucking ripped, bro. Like they were shredded. And it wasn't because they were working out in the gym or whatever. It's just because they're out and about in the world, exercising, playing. They didn't have any screens, and there wasn't nearly as much junk food available 70 years ago, right? So it's like they just straight up look so much healthier. It makes me think of that movie Captain Fantastic, where you see all these people who are fat like I am. I'm not like really overweight, but I am a bit overweight. And they're just like, yo, is everybody sick? Like, because it's so easy to be a fatty boy. Now, let's spin the wheel. Let's get this into the proper orientation. Here we go. Bull Falcon! Oh, Zircon! Zircon Super Chat says, spin to win. All right, buddy. You're next up on the wheel once we see what happens here. House. So we got Duskmourn. Zircon, let's see what you get. Wait. Hey, JD Hammond Super Chat says, not bad. Mandatory fun tomorrow. Spin for some actual fun, please. What is mandatory fun? All right, Mourn. If you didn't know, it says Duskmourn House of Horror. That's why I put all the different names on there, but I thought with the OF people might think OnlyFans. Sorry if I got you excited. Okay, so Hammond. Ham on whole wheat. All right, let's go. Little old Weird Al reference for you. Okay, that's 3 Duskmourns. Sweet. Let's dusk it up, boy. Kevin says, spinning to win is the only way to survive. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Whoop. So, first pack, Bull Falcon. Let's go. Heavy Metal, you found a Mexican restaurant that sells a bowl of melted cheese with 4 or 5 types of meats in it. Huh. All right. All right. That sounds pretty good, actually. Who's fat? I am kind of, Bo. All right. This is a goofy spider. It's got a bunch of eyeballs on it that make it look silly. You know? 2/2 reach spider token. What the hell makes this? What do we got here? Foil monstrous emergence. A peculiar lighthouse. Oh, that's actually pretty funky looking. And doesn't it kind of... I feel like it's got like a Doctor Who vibe. Cardboard Splendor Super Chat said, did Moxman get my email? How would I know? Spin for him, insults on him. Wait, is that 20 months with me? No, that's your 20th Super Chat on a live stream, it's saying. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. You know what? Yeah, we'll save the spin. We'll do it after. We'll do it after these packs. But yeah, you gotta ask Moxman. And no, you don't get to redirect insults. I will insult you if insult is spun. All right. We got, as the rare, an Unholy Annex and a Ritual Chamber. I don't know if I've seen this one. Hold on. Is the camera focused up, actually? Let me take a quick look and see if I can tweak it to be a bit better. It looks pretty good, though, overall, so maybe I'm just gonna... Okay, I don't know if I made it better or not, but it looks good, so we're gonna roll with this. We're gonna roll with this. So, Unholy Annex is a black and 2. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Otherwise, you lose 2 life. Okay. And the Ritual Chamber, a 5 mana. Oh yeah, this is the one that makes a 6/6 demon. I remember this now. That's fun. That is fun. All right, we got Piggy Bank. We saw that before. Patchwork Beastie. This guy's funky. 1 mana for a 3/3, where if you have Delirium, then he's actually able to attack or block. Otherwise, he just sits there and mills you. Unwilling Vessel. Oh, the Ghost Heimlich. That's all I see. The artwork on this is wild. Brain open to the world. So happy about it. All right, the Monkey. And then the Slasher. We're starting. I've seen a lot of these already. I don't know if there's any commons I haven't seen yet. Did I see Rampaging Soul Rager? 3 mana, 1/4. Gets +3/+0 as long as there are 2 or more unlocked doors among rooms you control for 3 mana. That's pretty underwhelming. That is pretty underwhelming. All right, Trapped in the Screen and Wary Watchdog. All right, not too shabby. Moxman tallying them bananas, getting the info ready. Hell yeah, buddy. Why am I putting this back in here? Goes over here with the other cards that have been opened. Okay, so pack a number 2. Pack a number 2, Zircon. What do we got? The art card. Oh, we've got Tamio's Farewell, right? Saying goodbye to Nashi. Sorry, I'm a ghost. Beep boop. I just died, bitch. All right. Unsettling Twins foil. Neglected Manor. Oh, we got Kaido. Beige of Nightmares. I know it's Bane of Nightmares, but the way his text is obscured, it feels like Beige of Nightmares. Okay. Kaido Beige of Nightmares is 4 mana for a 4 loyalty with ninjutsu, 1 black, 1 blue, and 1. So you can ninjutsu him out, which is such a weird thing since ninjutsu's just on creatures normally, but he counts as a creature on your turn. So he's a 3/4 ninja with hexproof on your turn. He's got +1 loyalty. You get an emblem that gives your ninjas +1/+1, so that boosts him. Or for 0, you can surveil 2, then draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. Or -2, tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it. It's weird. This is a really weird one, man. Oh, it's a double mythic pack. There you go. Too bad it's this douchebag Nico. A blue, a white, and 2 for 3/4 human wizard. When Nico enters, create 2 shard tokens. 2 and tap, exile target non-legendary creature you control, and shards you control become copies of it until the beginning of the next end step. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So that's Nico trapping people in shards. That's all right. That's all right. Hammond, you're taking off? All right, buddy. Well, we'll get to your pack in a moment. Oh wait, we're doing your pack. Never mind. Right? This is the 3rd pack, isn't it? No. This is Zircon's pack. Now I'm getting all tripped up. You are leaving before the pack. Okay. All right. Double Mythic into Pyroclasm. I haven't seen the Pyroclasm from this set yet. I remember when Pyroclasm initially came out in the Ice Age days. So yeah, a red and 1 to do 2 damage to everybody. In my younger days, I would meticulously catalog all the terrors I encountered. These days, I mostly just kill them with fire. Yep, that sounds believable. All right. We've got Midnight Mayhem. This is the one that for 4 mana makes 3 1/1 red gremlins that have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. It's crazy to me that the strength level of Magic, the power level has gotten so high that this thing doesn't even move the needle, you know? Commune with Evil. 3 mana sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You gain 3 life. Yeah. Feels mostly like a blue ability. What is going on? This says Commune with Evil. This looks like a chick working on a starship. I've changed the thruster drives. You put it in backwards. We're going into a neutrino spin. Oh, no. And then we got the commons, which I don't think there's anything that I haven't really seen yet from the commons. Oh, have I seen the Cheerleader? 2 mana, 2/2. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, put a flying counter on it. Okay. Whoop-de-doo. The murder is underwhelming. Turn Inside Out is a wild spell, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. What you get for 1 mana. Red Boosty Magoosti. Alright, now we're doing the pack for JD, and then we do a spin for Splendor. I am caught up now. Millmaster, you remember the Pro Tour guy played all the spiders to meta and ended up winning? Yeah, didn't that use like Trapdoor Spider as well? Yeah, Splendor, I thought about that too, buddy. The fact that I'm talking about in the old days of Magic and then Pyroclasm is also referencing that. Oh, we've got Buddy from The Cure, Robert Smith, all right? However far away, he will always love you because it's Friday. He's in love with the Love Cats. That's so stupid. He misses you, hiss. Man, like I could actually listen to some old school The Cure right now, you know? Make me feel like I was whole again. Fear of the Dark Foil, Etched Cornfield with the Aliens, Marina Vendrell's Grimoire in the crazy TV style. This card is awful. 6 mana, legendary artifact. When it enters, if you cast it, you draw 5 cards. That part's alright. You have no maximum hand size and don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. That part's alright. Whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. That part's alright. But then it says, whenever you lose life, discard that many cards. Then if you have no cards in hand, you lose the game. No. No. Sandwich, you have a vinyl of The Cure? Nice. Nice. Unholy Heat. Oh, we got a special guest. Unholy Heat. 1 red, does 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. It deals 6 damage instead if there are 4 more cards among types in your graveyard. Was this originally like a common? What was this originally from? Unholy Heat. It was a common. Yeah, it was a common originally, right? What's the oldest printing of it? Modern Horizons? Modern Horizons 2? It went from like this. We're counting this as a mythic, bro? That sucks. This is the list now. Remember how they had the list cards with a bunch of different things, and then they had special guests? They've collapsed it into what they now call the list and special guests. So this is supposed to be an extra bonus, but they just picked a random common. Like they picked a card that's essentially just a worthless sack of garbage. It's the fuck you of all the ones that are in there. There might be other ones that are common too, but what a rip, bro. All right, then we got the epic artwork, but not that exciting card. We got a baseball bat. Just a spiked baseball bat. I knew a degenerate who put nails into a baseball bat. That guy was a crackhead. Split Skin Doll. I haven't seen this. 1 white and 1, 2/1. When it enters, draw a card. Then discard a card unless you control another creature with power 2 or less. Oh. That's not too bad. Just straight up getting to draw a card off of a 2/1. As long as you have another dude out, there's no downside. That's pretty solid. Splendor, yeah, the difference with like Lucille is that is The Walking Dead and that's Universes Beyond, you know? This is in-universe. So Magic now has baseball bats in it and Walkmans and all kinds of stuff. Baelmerk Leech. And then the commons. Do we got anything? Oh, yeah, I saw the chandelier. Is there anything? Friendly Ghost. 4 mana, 2/4 flyer. When it enters, target creature gets +2/+4 until end of turn. In life, Marcus had been a devoted guide to new arrivals. Death simply made it easier to get around. Fair enough. That's right, Millmaster. They're just going for the look. It's got a mythic symbol on it. You should be excited. Look at the mythic orange. And it's like, isn't this just a worthless common in other sets? Yes, but in Duskmourn, it's ultra mega rare and you should feel excited to get this. And it's like, okay then. All right. So, Splendor's spin. Let's go. What do we got? All right, more Duskmourn. Let's go. The moth is the card set symbol. That is correct, but not for the special guests. That is whatever the hell that's actually supposed to be. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't actually looked at it that hard. What is that supposed to be? It's a star. It's a star over top of like a pentagon upside down. I don't know. I don't know. Corner! It's going to cost you $1,200 to never have to worry about having another kid. You're getting off cheap. All right. We got a bunny glimmer. We got a foil Fear of Fat Boy Goofbag Imposters. Oh, wow. This guy is really scuffed around the edges, man. Holy shit. Wow. That is really poor. All right, and then we got a foil mountain. This one's edges aren't nearly as bad. Oh, we got the Wandering Rescuer hitting that mythic action. 2 white and 3 for a 3/4 human samurai noble with flash and convoke, so you can tap your dudes to help cast them. Double strike. Other tapped creatures you control have hexproof. Not too shabby. Pretty beefy overall. The Wanderer just hacking somebody straight up in half. Not too shabby. And you can see the broken spark planeswalker symbol to let you know she ain't a planeswalker anymore. She's ready to be your commander. We got Break Down the Door. Such a goofy look on the face. Oblivious Bookworm. Oh yeah, I've seen this. Commune with Evil. We just saw that. And we saw Midnight Man. Oh, there's the Dagger Maw Megalodon. 6 mana, 5/7 Vigilance Island cycling. Valgavoth's Evil Aura turned the shark from an apex predator into an inescapable terror of the deeps. Dun dun dun. I mean, it doesn't look inescapable. I can see stairs like right there. So, if you just went up the stairs, wouldn't you be able to get away from it? Alright, Slaver. Oh, we're in the comments now. Seen you. Seen you. Oh, heavy metal. Calm down. No heavy breathing on the stream. We got a possessed goat. It's got a demon in it. I don't know if you guys know this, but you pay 3 mana for the demon to go into the goat's butthole, and then it lives in his horns. Glimmerburst. Yep. Yep, we've seen all this stuff. All right. All right. That wasn't too bad, actually. You think Torment had better horror flavor? Well, maybe if you take it as a whole, Torment might, maybe? I'd have to look it over. Torment definitely had some real horrors going on in it. If you take away the survivors, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have much of a horror feel. They don't add much to the horror feel. Like, for example, one of the cards we just looked at, Hardened Escort. Like, that doesn't really... But, I mean, when you look at dudes like this, yeah, right? So, they've got that. They got a bunch of monsters, a bunch of crazy nightmares and stuff that look pretty insane overall. So, I feel like Duskmourn has a really nice helping of really dark, messed up stuff. What up, Zero? Caustic, you think those stairs don't go anywhere? The shark still can't get you, though. You're out of the water. It's in the water, so, you know? Kevin B. Possessed Goat is your favorite comedy-flavored card of the set. It is fun, honestly. You know? It's like, hey, we got a sacrificial goat. Oh, no. It came back as a demon, and it's way stronger than all of us. So, yeah, it does have some good flavor. Man, some bug right by my window making a bunch of noise. Making a bunch of noise is my job. Get out of here. Beat it. Beat it. So, just starting out my brand new Minecraft world, and I got like nothing. I got a handful of crops and some crappy wood and stone tools. I'm like right at the beginning because I only played a little before we had dinner, but I'm psyched about getting back into some Minecraft. And I realized when I said before that Minecraft would replace me playing Arena, it won't. I'm going to play Arena and Minecraft. I'm having fun building up more gold right now and just adding to my overall hoard on Arena. So I busted out a number of games today. Some of them went really quick because people kept conceding randomly, like early on, which I presume just means that life circumstances interrupted them, because that's what happens to me all the time, right? There wasn't anything crazy going on in the game, and they were just like, boom, I'm out. I'm out. Except the one dude, he had so many answers. He had answers to like everything that I had. And then there's that like case of the whatever hothouse card. And I got that when I had enough lands to enable it so I could play a bunch of stuff off the top of my deck. And at that point, he had just run out of answers. He's like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm done. Brent says, the only thing more fun than having one addiction is two addictions. Whatever, bro. I'm going to enjoy. I like games. What can I say? Right? And Arena, I play it as a free-to-play player, so who cares? Who cares how much time I spend on it? Also, I mean, Magic is, let's just say what it is, bro. It's obsession level for me, right? I've been talking about it nonstop for years and years, playing it nonstop for years and years and years and years. I've played Magic way longer than I've played Minecraft. I'm looking forward to building a really epic Minecraft base this time around. I think I'm gonna go and find a city, like a village that already has a wall built around it, and then just claim it for my own. And I will demolish all the houses and stuff in there, and then most likely imprison select villagers. They'll just be like, why have you captured me and stuck me in this cell? And it'll be like, because you'll trade me for wheat. That's it. You made the right deals, which means you got to live forever as a trade resource for me. All the other villagers, I left them to be torn apart in the night by zombies. I got so used to playing in my own Minecraft worlds that I forgot that when you log into a server, that it can be any time of day. So I logged into the game and it's the middle of the night. And I'm just like, oh, good. I get to run from zombies. And I got set on fire and poisoned. And I just charging around trying to survive, which I did, because thankfully it turned out that there was one of those mushroom biomes nearby and enemies don't spawn there. So I just ran and cowered there because that's what I like to do. I'm like, no, I ain't here to build tools and fight you right now. I'm going to go like marshal my resources. And the next time we meet, I'll have the gear to mess you up. But in the meantime, I'm just going to make a sleeping bag. And as soon as night falls, instantly sleep it into day to avoid all conflict. Because I just want to gather resources and do something dope. Caustic, you're glad I'm playing Arena? I like it, man. It's fun. I like being a free-to-play arena player. The fact that you can just build up tons of gold for drafts. I have like 540,000 gold and 9,000 some odd gems. So I've got enough to get the next couple mastery passes. And if I spend my gold drafting, I'll get a shitload more gems as well. It looks like the shortened arena season for Bloomborough is going to be more the norm going forwards, because Duskmourn also has a 60 level mastery pass, which I presume, since Bloomborough had a 60 level mastery pass, that it's going to be the same like 2 months. Because what? Then Foundations comes out? Obviously Foundations, as a standard set that brings in a bunch of beginner stuff, is absolutely going to be put on Arena. And speaking of beginner stuff, if you guys didn't see already, I have the new starter welcome decks that are going to be given out by game stores to new players. So we're going to get to take a look at these, and then I'll return them to the shop, because honestly, I don't even want them. You know what I mean? The cards they put in these, it's usually a bunch of junk and one whatever rare, because they don't want people like sharking and coming in to score all these up pretending they're new players. They want these to be things that new players are like, whoa, and people who aren't new players just go, I don't need a handful of commons and a rare that doesn't matter. Corner, Arena doesn't cash out full sets for physical cards anymore, is that right? Arena never did. MTGO is what did that. Magic the Gathering Online, which is a completely different client that's over 2 decades old, they would let you build up a set and then you could turn it into a real set and you just had to pay like a shipping and handling fee or whatever, right? Or if you just wanted to, you could sell that as a set to somebody and then they could redeem it. But that was a thing. And they're still doing it, but not with foil sets anymore. You can only redeem regular sets now. But that's still a thing that can be done. When it comes to Arena, there is technically a way to like try and get your money back out. Or if you haven't put money out into it, money out. Either by playing in one of the events where they have a cash prize, or they now have events where you can play for booster boxes. So if you win a box of like Modern Horizons 3 or whatever it is. You do have to pay any import and duty fees on those, right? Like Wizards will send you the stuff, but they will not pay import fees. And I heard there are like some countries where the amount of customs they get charged on it is like 70%. 70%. So it's like you're just buying the product at 30% off, which is rough. Caustic, play ranked. Sometimes you get free stuff. You only need to play ranked once a month. Like, all you need to do is play ranked once a month and play in a draft once a month. And then you will be guaranteed to get the bonus booster pack. You can play until your silver level if you want to, but I lately haven't really cared that much about playing standard ranked because it feels very stagnant, you know, in terms of what am I going to play against? Gee, I wonder if I'm going to get hit by a red slick shot deck or a black cavern bat deck. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty much what it feels like most of the time. So I like playing with the like starter deck package where you got the 10 different decks that you can all play against each other because they have roughly the same power level. The games take more turns to develop, even though for somebody who's played Magic forever and started at the beginning, stuff feels pretty accelerated even with those decks sometimes, where by the third or fourth turn you're like, well, we both know who's going to win this. But the power level of the decks, it's not off the chart with all of the absolute best cards crammed in there, and you haven't lost by turn 2 when you're playing those decks. So I like to use those. Really, that's what I found in recent times I've spent most of my time doing. In other time frames when I played Arena, I'd play with my big 250 card green deck in Standard. Part of the reason that I haven't been doing that is because I stopped playing Arena for like a year and a half. So building up my set collection, I was getting like almost full sets of all the rares from each set as we went along. And then I stopped playing. So all of a sudden, I don't have all these sets that are in Standard, and the stuff I have is rotated out. And there's no way I'm taking my tower into like Historic or Timeless because I will just get beat with no mercy. So like after I've built up some more, or if I just want to spend out some wild cards, because admittedly I do have like, what is it, like 100 mythic wild cards, 200 rare wild cards, and then hundreds and hundreds of commons and uncommons. So I could build the green tower however I want, really. I did spend some wild cards getting cards from Caverns of Ixalan and Markov Manor because I didn't collect Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and Markov Manor wasn't something that I wanted to do a lot of drafting of and whatever else, so I didn't really build up on that. I basically just kept saving up my gold for Bloomborough to show up. And then I honestly didn't do that many Bloomborough drafts. I thought I was going to, but I've just been enjoying the starter deck experience mostly. So I've played that a lot. I just go where the flow takes me. It's just free to play anyways, you know? Farky, what's up? How were the spins? They were good. We opened some packs. They were fun. That was all right. Millmaster, the window to do redemption on MTGO is way smaller now and limited to 4. Oh, really? How long does it take before they stop? Caustic ranked has fewer stallers. Well, I guess if you're in a rush to try and get all your wins and whatever, that makes sense. I don't really care. And when it comes to playing with the new starter decks, it would be ignorant of me to be like, this guy's a staller or whatever, because there are people in there that you know have been playing for a while. You can tell by their pets and their avatars and stuff. And it's like, okay, you've been playing for a while. But then there's people who have no sleeves. They have like no special anything. They just have the beginner stuff. So if they're taking time, it's because they don't really know how to play. I'm not going to be like, come on, dickhead. It's like if people are playing slowly, I actually take the exercise, like the opportunity to get some very mild exercise in the form of doing laps around my living room and kitchen and stuff. If there's ever like somebody intentionally roping me, it doesn't bother me. I'm just like, who knows? Maybe they closed their phone. Maybe they had to go, whatever, didn't want to click concede because on the phone it's that much smaller. Maybe they got disconnected because Arena is actually not a very good program. So I don't get angry at ropers anymore. I used to. I used to get angry at them. And then now I'm just like, no, it's cool, man. I'm going to get the win either way. And I'll just get up and get some movement in. I have my step count. I'm trying to get in at least 10K steps a day bare minimum, right? I'm trying to get more active and less just sitting on my ass. If I'm not going to go out into the world and wander around and do shit, then I've at least got to do it at home, right? So for me, the stalling stuff isn't an issue. I'm not worrying about it. That's not enough for me to dive into standard and play. Like, the problem with standard is that it's the least variety you're ever going to see. Because each deck is playing 4 ofs most of the time. Because that is the redundancy is the best way to do things, to guarantee you're going to get the pieces for your game plan. So you play with 4 ofs. So that means that most decks are made up of 9 or 10 different cards altogether, right? And if there's only 2 decks that are really dominant, then I get to play Magic against 18 different Magic cards at most, which is really boring really fast to me. I like more variety. So even just the starter deck setup, you have 10 different decks, right? So whatever deck you're playing against, you can't face off against. But any of the other 9 decks can show up. So you've got 9 different decks, and there are multiples of a lot of cards in those decks, but it's not 4 ofs for everything in the deck. And your rares, you only have like 1 of each. So I get more variety from that. It gives me a bit of a longer game. It gives me more variety. I've been vibing on it for the last 2 sets. I liked the previous set of starter decks and this set, right? They didn't have what's it called? They didn't have that starter deck stuff when I quit playing like a year and a half ago or whatever it was. Donnie, you keep getting disconnected when you play. It's obnoxious, man. It's happened to me. Caustic, I will do what makes me happy. You do what makes you happy, buddy. Nothing wrong with telling other people how you do it, right? In case they don't... There's some people who know what they want to do, and there's some people who have no idea. There's some people who spend 1,000 gold every day to buy a booster pack when they get it. And I can see the fun in that. Just every day cracking a pack. Yeah, I got something new. Awesome. But for me, saving up gold and just going ham on drafts and stuff, it's the best value for your gold that gets you gems and stuff. Although now you can play... I have sometimes wondered about just building a strong-ass standard deck and then going into one of those standard deck challenges and beating people down to add more resources to my account because you can win gems through that, right? So I have considered that. I'm not terrible at Magic. I won a lot of tournaments back in the day. I never played like on the Pro Tour level or anything like that. The higher levels of Magic were really unappealing to me based on how ultra seriously everybody took things. And honestly, there was an event I went to when I was just starting out Magic that really turned me away from ever wanting to be on the higher levels of anything, because like so many of the people that I played against there were miserable. They weren't having a good time. This was not like playing the events at the game store where, yeah, I mean, they're only going to cap out at maybe like 70, 80 people max, but whatever, who cares? Like, it's fine. That's a ton of people to still play Magic with. But people are there to have a good time, and somebody might get a little tilted during a game here or there. But, like, not be consistently miserable. There's the one guy who was day drinking in the middle of our game. And I was just like, he wasn't doing it in a fun way. He wasn't doing it like someone who was enjoying life. And I'm just like, the people I encountered, the further up I went, the less likable they were. And I was just like, I'm not saying that everybody who plays Magic on a high level is like that at all. I'm just talking about an experience that I had that turned me away from the whole thing, man. You know, it's just not appealing. It's not appealing. But I can play Magic pretty well. I can make pretty good choices. So I think I could do half decently in those events. Quick, do I think Magic is at a low point right now? In some ways, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're at a low point for people who are enjoyers of traditional Magic the Gathering that is based on swords and sorcery style high fantasy, right? It's a low point for those people, and it's just slowly dawning on them. I know this because I was talking to my buddy who runs the LGS that I go to. This was, Saturday. So this would have been yesterday. I was talking to him yesterday about how, it's crazy. It feels like it was longer than that, but it literally was yesterday. He told me, he's like, I figured out why Magic doesn't feel as good right now, while it feels crappy right now. And then he's like slapping booster boxes. He's like, we had Markov Manor, we had Thunder Junction, right? Then we have Bloomborough, which feels like normal old school Magic. And now we got Duskmourn. So like everything this year has not been high fantasy. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I've been yelling about this all year. Are you kidding me? Like, you're just catching up now? Exactly. So for people who love that particular kind of Magic, it definitely feels like a low point where Wizards is just feeling out all kinds of different stuff. But that does not affect how enjoyable Magic is to play, right? Magic is at a low point for the high fantasy stuff. It is at a low point, I think, right now because Wizards let their commander lust blind them to paying attention to other things that matter. And as a result, you had people who wanted to get into Magic and try things like Standard, and Wizards was just like, you get Standard by buying a bunch of booster boxes and stuff, okay? We don't offer any kind of decks in any way. No, I don't care if you're brand new, whatever. No, we got nothing. Buy a Commander deck. Play Commander. Oh, I don't have like 3 other friends who play this, and I don't want to play Commander. Well, then hit the bricks, ugly. You know what I mean? So they did that, and they cut Standard off at the knees. So it's a low point for Standard, and it's a low point for people who want to get into Magic the Gathering. But with Foundations coming out and the return of things like Welcome decks, we are rounding a corner on that. We are coming back up in that regard. So Wizards has recognized some of the insanely terrible decisions that they've made. They're like, why is Standard floundering? We've done everything we can to destroy it, and for some reason it's destroyed. Right? Wizards gutted Standard by a combination of factors, some outside their control, like they couldn't control the pandemic of people coming out for Standard. But what they did there was underhanded. Instead of going, we're going to support people playing like online against each other using video cameras or whatever, they went to game stores. Here, we're going to be your friends. You know how if you want to be in the WPN, you have to have a certain number of events with people playing in them, you know? So we're going to let you count people playing on Arena who register through your store's number or whatever. We'll let you count those, which gets all the game store owners herding people onto Arena so that they can get the like WPN status being all right. This kind of nonsense, which was a terrible move. So they got all the Standard players used to, hey, bro, you can play Magic at home with your pants off and you never have to talk to any of the idiots you don't like. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'll just do that here. And I can just do this whenever. I don't even need to go to the game store on a particular night. Like, I don't need any of this. So Wizards is just like, wait, but you're supposed to buy all the Standard stuff. We make lots of boxes and we want money. So you've got them going onto Arena, and then you've got Wizards abdicating responsibility for balancing Standard in any way, where they go, okay, we got this new thing called Fire Design, where before the idea was They would work on making a good standard set. And then everybody else could feed from that standard set. Commander players could have what they want from it. Anything that came through standard would most likely be fine for modern. No real issues because it's balanced for standard, right? But then they changed the model to fire, where it literally set the whole thing on fire, saying, we're aiming at everything now. Sets like need to have cards that will hit commander, that will hit modern. Like, we want it to go into everything. And then they just, like, after, I don't know, I know when Fire started. Fire started with Throne of Eldraine. I don't know exactly where they started breathing so heavy for Commander, but my gut says Zendikar Kaldheim, roughly. That's like around then when they had the two Commander decks that came with the standard sets, and they were like in the weird shaped boxes. I feel like that's like the beginning of when they just went, Commander will be everything. It's perfect. It's casuals. We don't have to balance any of the cards. We don't even manage the ban list. We don't ever have to ban anything. Commander's everything. Commander's everything. And then they're like, we still want the standard dollars and other dollars. And it's like, why aren't we getting them? Because you're not providing a balanced standard environment or anything reasonable. And they're like, okay, we hear you. Here's how we're going to fix it. Standard is now the last 3 years worth of sets. What? It's not working because you have 2 years worth of unbalanced garbage. Great news. Now we got 3 years of unbalanced garbage. Get some, right? Like, we got old boxes on the shelf that need to move, boy. So 3 years for standard now. Like, they had it set up perfect where they had a 2-year obsolescence chain that everybody was fine with. People would move over to modern from standard when the rotations hit sometimes, but overall, standard kept a good flow, and Wizards fucked that dog to death, bro. What up, Thompson? How you doing, buddy? I'm doing pretty good. Farky, you're correct. The point of entry is so expensive for paper now, too. You are right. They don't have the standard decks they used to sell, right? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, these are the free decks that they give away at game stores to beginners. And I'm gonna go through the contents of them. I'll crack them open on camera, either in like a pre-recorded video or we'll do it in a live stream. Probably in a live stream. And we'll take a look at the contents of it. I do like looking at the beginner decks because it gives you an idea of what Wizards thinks is important to teach new players, and I like judging them from the perspective of the knowledge that's gained by new players by using them. I really like the welcome decks for teaching new people to play. They're fantastic. They have the same benefits as the starter decks on Arena that I'm talking about, where they're pretty simple and straightforward, easy to pick up. It's just a 2-color deck of 2 little mini decks shoved together, right? So I like the welcome decks. I've always thought that they were a great product. And the fact that Wizards is sending them out to hand out for free now to people instead of going, tell them to buy a commander deck. Buy a commander deck, idiot. Because, yeah, it's way, way easier to learn a 100-card format that you have to play with 3 other people. And, like, everybody has a deck with, like, 60 unique cards in it. Versus 2 decks, each of which will have multiples of each card. So maybe they have to deal with, like, 25 to 40 cards in total. Whereas in a commander deck, you are going to be exposed to probably about 250 new cards. It's like, what? And commander gives a different feel when you play it as well. Quick, yep, you can think of it almost like as a draft without the BS. That's true too. That is definitely one way to view it. Yeah, playing Magic is the best, man. That's it. The gameplay always brings me back. 100%. That's irrefutable. It hasn't gotten to the point where I'm just like, I don't like playing Magic. I like it when things are more balanced than they've become, but at this point, we can't escape the fact that we're going to be living in a world of bigger power creep. 100%. Micah, when did I start playing Magic? I started playing Magic in 1994 when the 3rd Magic expansion was out. Back when Legends was out. I played Magic for pretty much the entire history of the game. I couldn't even tell you how many games of Magic that I've played, right? Like so many in person and then all like thousands on Arena as well. Corner competitive EDH, it's a completely different beast, so you'd have to try it and see what you think, man. Kansaki, you know what? That's true too. When you play with decks like these, you'll get to see the cards. You'll get to see them all, and you'll become familiar with them. But with Commander, how many times do you have to play a 100 card deck to get familiar with all these individual pieces? There's that as well. That's right, Donnie. 5,000 years ago, in the long, long ago, I found out about Magic because my friends we played Dungeons and Dragons together. And then one day, my one buddy, Adam, goes, I want you to check out this new game, Magic. And I was just like, oh, whatever. And they brought it over. Buddy, another guy who became my friend after that, brought over a big 5-row box full of Magic cards. And they started playing, and I just started talking shit. The guys are cheaters. You're not even using the 5 colors of the game and just talking smack. And I didn't really even understand what was going on with their game. I wasn't really paying that much attention. I didn't care. And so I was just kind of thumbing through cards in the box. And then I found Personal Incarnation. And I looked at it, and I was like, bro, this is a wizard who has summoned up this gigantic, beefy construct of pure might. It's like a being made of his own will and magic, and it is smashing motherfuckers' heads in. I'm like, this is amazing. What is this? What is this? This is so cool. And so then I went, yeah, I'll try the game. And I played it once, and I was like, oh my God! Oh my God! And I just became fucking obsessed. And I played Magic all the time with my friends after school, on the weekends, constantly. I knew every card that existed by heart, man. So I remember my uncle sitting there when I had a big 5-row box of cards, and he keeps pulling out cards, and I'm telling him everything about it, including the flavor text. And he's like, this is fucking ridiculous. Why can't I find a card you don't know? You know, like, because, bro, I was super obsessed to the point where Arena and shit like that didn't exist. I'd be at home at night after everyone's gone home. Got to be at home because our parents are like, you can't be doing whatever, right? So just sitting there playing like the, do I have that book? The little brown book that came in the box that's got like ways you can play Magic on your own where you try and take yourself out by turn 7 and like other funky individual games you can play. Like, yeah, man. I love the olden days of Magic the most. It was so different. The pre-internet era, all of it, everybody getting together, all of it, man. So I played it so much. And as my friends dropped off, I didn't. I stayed in Magic a long time. I got out of Magic for a while when I got old enough to start hooking up with chicks because I was more interested in getting fucked up and banging bitches. So Magic kind of fell by the wayside for a bit, and it wasn't even that long. And then one day out of the blue, the guy who owned the LGS called me up and was like, hey, we're having like a big Magic event for 8th edition or whatever. Something like that. I think it was 8th edition. I might not be remembering the right set. But anyways, we're having a big event. Some of the guys you remember from the old days are coming down from Toronto. Do you want to come down and play? And I was like, yeah, I do. So I came down and played, and I was like, I forgot how much I fucking love this. And then I got right back in, and I never really got back out after that. That was like the last time I got out. My exits from Magic were very brief and forgotten in the long span of my Magic history. Auto, yeah, draft is a terrible experience for beginners. Sealed is better because you just open 6 boosters and you tell them you're allowed to change your deck every game. So if you put cards in there that suck, you can take them out right after the game you played. And if you just got beat down by something and you can't figure out what to do about it, you can look at your other cards and you can change your deck. You can put in entirely different colors, right? You can swap your deck around. You got a lot of options. I like it. Millmaster, I don't think that competitive EDH seems like an oxymoron to me. It's just a 100 card singleton, but degenerate, where you're just trying to do the grossest things possible, right? Yeah, Micah, that's correct. I am indeed Canadian. Corner, no one plays standard at your LGS. That's pretty much what happened to the one I went to, too. They used to have a thriving standard scene, and then Wizards just brutalized standard and then glorified commander, and you put the two together, and what do you get? Bibbity bobbity, we're fucked, right? So it's the age of glory for 4-player Magic, and it's the low era for 2-player Magic. That's the reality. Kensuke, you put a new card in your commander deck and it took 10 games to see it. You're like, did I even put it in here? Oh, yeah, I got obsessed with Magic. So obsessed. I just always wanted to get more cards. I loved, like, poring over every detail, reading the novels, all of it, man. All of it. I got so deep into it. And I still love all the little details. Every card can be its own little story. Sometimes what Wizards has done in recent times makes the stuff a little too generic for it to really feel that way. But there are still a lot of Magic cards that tell a story with their art. And then when the name and the art and the flavor text and the mechanics all tie together, holy shit, is that satisfying. That feels great. You're just like, this is well done. You've executed this card fantastically. Pretty much anybody should be able to see how this all flows together. And even if they can't, like, really see it directly, they will intuitively experience how right it feels, you know? Like, Lightning Bolt is a really great example. It's just straight up like 1 fucking red, 3 damage to any target, and the art is a lightning bolt. So you just go, boom, there you go. The whole thing makes perfect sense. I'm targeting a blast of lightning there. Executed. There's no part. It's not called, like, Wang Lord's Hangover. And you're just like, what? Why does it show a bolt of lightning? Is it because what's the flavor text say? He gets drunk and then Wang Lord goes, I'm going to blast people because I don't like being hungover and IVs don't exist in this world for me to get nutrients. And you go, wait, does this guy know about other worlds now where they have hospital technology? What the hell does this mean? Do you know? Like, you take it for granted sometimes, you know? Corner, you got introduced to Magic via Cube. Well, that's a lot of fun variety, but that's also a lot to deal with. Kevin, you read the books up till the end of Invasion arc, but you haven't read any since then. I have read most of the novels, but there's a number that I haven't. I still have to catch up on a bunch of them. But, yeah, I used to get the fat packs, and the fat packs would come with the books, which was amazing. Like, I really wish they did that now. I wish the stories were novel length instead of 5 little, like, 5, what feels like 5 mini essay style, mini essay length, 5-6 paragraph feeling story chunks, you know? Before, we used to get full novels written by competent authors. They're not the kind of books that are going to blow your socks off if you don't play Magic and you don't care specifically about the world, but they have a lot of great world building. They pull you in. The Urza stuff especially. So awesome, man. So awesome. Donnie, what's wrong with Arena? They just did a 9.5 gig update. I don't know. They said it's like fixing up a bunch of back-end stuff, I guess. But I don't know what they fixed up. But it invariably, whenever they do any update, it ends up causing some problems, right? But with something this big, it's probably going to cause more issues because I've heard of a number of different problems so far. And Arena has been getting steadily worse where, like, I remember a time where there wasn't so many, like, loading swirls that took forever, and all the blackouts and stuff that happen between the screens where they're literally just trying to mask how long they're actually making you wait. Like, they haven't fixed the delay issues. They've just created the illusion of it not feeling as long by having a number of transition images and stuff that you see while it's doing all that loading. Arena is a very clunky program, and it's insane to me that we did a 9.5 gig update like a couple days ago, and there's no noticeable improvement. I was like, oh, well, since I don't see anything for this, maybe it means they fixed some of the issues. And I'm like, ooh, it's still clunking along, bro. But I don't pay to play, so I don't get bent out of shape about it. If I was somebody who was paying for this, if I paid like $50 for one of those package deals or whatever, and then it was acting like this, I'm like, $50 is like the price of a good game, right? And if you do two of the $50 packages, that's $100. That's an incredible game in this day and age. So not some broken nonsense, right? Checked out. I do have every Magic novel. I don't have every Magic comic book yet. I don't have every comic book. I don't have every Inquest and Scry. It would be dope to one day own all that stuff, but I don't right now. The update took your whole day? Oh, that sucks, man. I got a decent internet speed, so I got a decent package. I needed to because of the whole streaming thing, right? So it means that I don't tend to have much of an issue with that. Downloading the 10 gigs happened pretty quick. Did I ever play any old school MMOs? I played, what was it called? I didn't want to get into World of Warcraft because I didn't like the monthly model. So there was another one at the time where you could just buy the game outright. Was it called Guilds something? Did it have Guilds in the name? I don't know. I got it, and then this guy that I worked with had it too, and we played together. But his fucking, like, his fiance left him, and he was all broken up about it and whatever. So, like, whenever we played, he was always crying about that, and he would always run ahead. He was, like, a higher level than me, so he would run ahead and, like, kill everything until he ran into enemies that were too strong, and then he'd come running back. So I couldn't fight any of the fucking enemies because he killed everything on the way to where he was going, leaving me behind. And then on the way fucking back, he's coming back with beef boy enemies following him, and they just end up slaughtering me. And so it wasn't long before I just, like, I associated that whole game with a shitty, miserable time, and I just stopped booting it up. Like, normally I'll tell people to fuck off, but he was so broken up about his life falling apart, and I was just trying to be nice. So it's like, I can't believe I fucking bought this game to, like, hang out and play with you, and it's been miserable shit. So yeah, I played some Chinese one, and the reason I got into that game was because this dude made me laugh. He's like, I play this one where I go as girl avatars or whatever, and then I go up to dudes, and then I get them to come to a cave with me, and then when they start telling me that they like me, I tell them I'm a dude and fly away. And he just showed me, and he's like, see? And I just started laughing my ass off, right? It was just like, check it out. I turned into a bird or something, and I'm floating in front of the moon. And it made me laugh so hard. And I was like, you know what? I'll check this game out. I wonder what it is. The graphics seem all right. I can't remember what the hell it was called. I played that. I remember trying Ultima online for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or whatever it was. The server that we joined, if you leave the main town, apparently you're just subject to like PvP attacks immediately and unavoidably. So I was playing this with my girlfriend at the time, and neither of us had played, knew nothing about the game. So we went outside into the forest, and it immediately started raining lightning down on me and her, and it like instantly killed me. And I was like, run! And she like ran and survived. She got back to the city, and I as a ghost went back to the city. And we couldn't figure out how the fuck to turn me back to a ghost fast enough. And she was just like, I don't want to play this game. I don't like it. And I don't want to play it myself. I'm like, well, I'm not going to play this game by myself, especially if there's a bunch of dickheads 3 feet out of the main thing that instantly start killing you. Fuck this noise, you know? So I didn't really play that. What else did I mean, I play Minecraft on servers with people, right? But that's not really, well, I mean, you don't really call that an MMO, right? Dark Horse makes comics, yeah. Inquest and Scry aren't comics. They're magic magazines that have like old school prices and articles and all that stuff. Ken Darson's like, yo, that sounds like Ultima, all right. That's what happened. That's what happened. So, yeah. I like to play multiplayer games with like groups of people that I know instead of connecting to a gigantic world full of a million people where it's like, I want to send you on an epic quest. And it's like, okay, go get me some rhubarb. Huh, all right. And then there's like 800 people standing around him giving him rhubarb. And you're like, I can't even click on this dickhead. There's so many stupid names around him and everyone's running around and it's just so sketchy on the screen. I just want to give this dickhead his rhubarb, okay? I did your fetch quest. Now what? Now I gotta go get you onions? Can you just tell me all you fucking stew ingredients now, you stupid asshole? I gotta go out and fight fucking bog goblins to get onions? Suck my dick, bro. Right? Like, there's aspects of MMOs that destroy the immersion and the flavor. Like Guild Wars, for example. You start out, and it's just like, you are on the most epic of epic quests, epic man. You must go out and save the fucking world kind of shit. We have really important stuff for you to do. Big happenings are afoot. And you must be central. You are a pivotal figure in this incredibly important unfolding that threatens all of existence. Now go on your first quest. And then you go out the front gates. You go out the front gates of the fucking city. And before you even get there, there's like 80 people wearing nothing. They've taken their clothes off. They're just in their underwear. And they're all just dancing at the gates. And you're like, what is this? What is this? Like, what idiot decides, yo, I got this fucking fantasy adventure game where I'm supposed to go and fight and save the world. But instead, like a buffoon, I can take off all of my clothes, gyrate at the front gates. So that's what I'm going to do. And then somebody else comes along and sees them doing it. I'm going to do that too. And then you just have the whole idiot squad. And you're like, there should be a way to like click so that none of you guys show up, that you just don't exist. Like it's so stupid and immersion breaking, you know? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Millmaster, you wait. 6 years later, you'll just get a random bing. Come play Inquisitor. You never know. I ain't gonna pretend like I'm about to play it now when I just like am putting my toes back into Minecraft. I promise you, for the next little bit, Minecraft is gonna be eating up a bunch of my time because I feel that vibe. I feel it. Minecraft is a trip, bro. It's awesome. And I want to do some epic shit. Dresden, I don't drink, buddy. I don't drink. I do like edibles, though. But yeah, I do not drink. I'm just a maniac. Floppy, the farmer needs you to collect 3 types of seeds. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking busy work, man. It's busy work. Corner, what's my favorite shooter game? I mean, I don't really play them, honestly. Like, there are particular kinds of games that I never played unless my friends were playing it when we were growing up. So if they wanted to rent Mortal Kombat or something, I would play Mortal Kombat with them. But I fucking hated those games. Like, maybe hate is too strong a term. I strongly preferred to play other games. Sports games I outright hated. I did not want to play. I was just like, I'm not playing fucking soccer on the fucking video game system. Are you out of your damn mind? Fuck off, bro. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Racing cars, sure. But like, hockey and stuff, fuck right off. I'm going to play the NHL. Who cares? Play NHL 94. Cram it, bro. I don't want any of it. So, yeah. When it came to shooters, the only one that I ever really played a lot of was Duke Nukem. The old Duke Nukem with the shrink ray and the freeze gun and stuff. The game store that I went to had computers where you could like rent time on them, and they were all networked together. So we could all play for hours, just like whatever games. And it just happened to have Duke Nukem. So that's what we played. And I enjoyed that game. I thought it was fun. Although I played in a totally fucking cheesy, what do they call it? Camper? Yeah. I fucking was a hardcore camper. Like 100%. Because that's called a fucking winning strategy. And I'm a fucking winner. All right? I'm going to run around like an idiot. That was what my first instance of playing Duke Nukem actually was just that. Everybody loads the game up, and all of a sudden you're at dumb fuck junction where the other 4 guys or 3 guys or whatever are all running around in a circle going boop, 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 at each other with the initial handguns. I just fucking trucked by all that nonsense. I'm like, these idiots are just shooting at each other like this. I just want to go somewhere where I can fucking I don't even know how to play this game. I got to get acclimated with the controls and figure out what I'm doing. So I just entered a building to peek out the door and see what was going on. And then it happened that there was an elevator in there. So I found the elevator at the back, hopped in it. It took me up to the 2nd floor, and there was a fucking RPG there. So I was like, whoa. Is this what I think it is? Like, is this a rocket launcher? Because I didn't know then that an RPG was a rocket launcher, right? But it looked like a fat honker. So these guys are still running around in the circle, just pew, 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 shooting at each other. And I'm just like, well, time to find out what this is. And I fire a rocket. One of them blows up. So I just start raining rockets down on them. They don't know where they're coming from. So bam, bam, bam. They blew up. And then there was the one guy, because you see on the screen, he's just like, hey, everyone's getting blown up. And then everyone's like, yo, why am I getting killed? Because there was like curtains and stuff, so you couldn't see each other's screens. But I like, I leaned back because the one guy's like, I didn't get hit by a rocket. So I leaned way back. And then out of the corner of my eye, I could see he was in the one tunnel, right? So from where I was sitting, I aimed my rocket launcher down into the tunnel. And then I got his attention. I'm like, hey, man. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you might want to look at your screen. And then he looked back at his screen for the rocket to hit him. And I realized that I love fucking cheesing people in those kind of games. I love just being a cheesy bastard. I will sit there for like 15 fucking minutes doing nothing just for that surprise dick in the mouth moment where it's just like, there's this one huge space lock door. Woo, it's going up or whatever, right? Yeah, that's right. I'll look at the fucking screen. I don't even care. What, are you going to fucking cry about it? Call your fucking mama. Hey, mama, the man when they were playing the game at the video game store decades ago when they were kids or whatever, he looked at the screen, mama. I'll do it again. I'll do it every day of the week. I don't give a shit. Unrepentant. Yeah, I'll look at your fucking screen. I'll move the curtain, see exactly where you are. And then I'll come and fucking blow you up. Well, actually, I won't. I'll be sitting in my spot like a fucking spider waiting, camping, motherfucker. So they got the door, right? It's this big, slow door. And then there was this vent you could fly up into up here. And so I figured out the timing of when the door starts to open, of when to fire my rocket, so it'll hit whoever's at the door. And that's the kind of cheesy shit I would do. There was another door that opened up. There's a little fucking place you can squat and get down into. And there's like a super health. So you can sit on it. Now you're at 150% health. And anytime that somebody tries to go through that door, ooh, it opens. And you're right there in the duct. You can see the door opening. You can just walk to the end of it and then fire a rocket at them. And even though it's close range and hits you, because you're at 150% health, you don't die. And then you just crouch backwards and squat back down on top of the health, ready to blow up the next motherfucker. I hung out in the bathroom and waited for dudes to show up so I could blast them. And yeah, I said it. I heard what I said. I meant it. So I liked hanging out in the bathroom because it was dark in there. When somebody opened the door, the light floods in, fire a rocket, blow them up. Kablamo! Right? That was dope. My one buddy figured out how to get me, though. He stepped in, I fired the rocket. He stepped back out, waited for the rocket blast to hit the wall, and then he'd run in and shoot me. And so I was like, that's a pretty good tactic. So then I just adapted my tactics. He opens the door and walks in, I fire a rocket, and then immediately fire a second rocket. So he steps back out of the way of the first blast, boom, steps in, second blast. I'm like, get some, fuckface! So yeah, I had a hell of a lot of fun with Duke Nukem, and I played it at home where I had no sound. So I became really good at knowing when people were shooting at me without sound. So when I played with everybody and there was sound, it was like I had fucking heightened extra sensory perception, right? So on top of being a super cheesebag player, I could figure out what other people were doing and where they were if I wanted to run up and cheese them out of nowhere. Millmaster, nope, I didn't ever rock Wolfenstein 3D. Definitely not. Pierce, you did that shit relentlessly with Halo? Alright, right on, man. I never really played Halo. I've barely played any of the shooter games because they're boring to me. Bravo, get my 9! He's on the 6, guy! Run, get the flag! Oh, we gotta protect these bombed out buildings! Jimmy, goddammit, get over here! I'm down! You gotta hold the space bar to bring me back to life! Medic! Oh, they've got the flag! 9 or 9 or 6-4 flag! Cover me! I played Capture the Flag when I was in Cub Scouts. And I thought Capture the Flag was fun. But, I don't know, man. The shooter game's mostly boring to me. I did like GoldenEye. Like 007 for the, what was it? N64? That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Millmass, you gotta get covered somehow, buddy. You gotta get covered somehow, son. Dresden, what's the fucking difference? You're literally asking, yo, man, are you looking at the screen or are you looking at the screen? You just, it's like, hey, are you wet or are you covered in water? What the fuck are you talking about? Anthroplasm, I never played Perfect Dark. Kendar, if I had kept playing Ultima, I would have been the PK that killed everyone on the GIMP template that needed to be patched. I don't actually care about screwing with other people, like in big MMOs. I don't care. Like, I only had fun playing that stuff because I knew those guys. So playing Duke Nukem with them and messing them up was fun. But I don't care about ruining games for people I don't know. You know what I mean? Cheesing my friends is funny. Playing a fighting game and using the same bullshit sweep kick over and over because they can't answer it, that's fucking hilarious. That will never not be hilarious. Watching somebody get so pissed off that they can't fucking punch you in a digital fight game because it's poorly programmed, and if you refuse to stand up and you just keep working the legs, there ain't shit they can do about it. It's so funny. It's so funny. And it will never not be funny. So, yeah. I just would do cheesebag moves, man. I do cheesebag moves. It's funny thinking about the old days and the video games and stuff. It makes me think of my buddy in Top Gun. He rented Top Gun. Now, he didn't tell me that he had actually rented it the day before. He acted like he had just rented it and we were just about to just play it, right? And he's just kicking my ass. Like, he is fucking brutalizing me the way that you would expect somebody who had spent a whole day playing it in advance would play against someone who didn't know how to play. So, out of exasperation, I just end up doing like a loop-de-loop. I'm like, I'm just going to fly straight up. Whatever, here we go. And just did a loop and then missile locked. And I blew him up. And it worked. And he had just been ragged on me for so long that I was like, that's all I do now. Loop, missile, loop, missile. So I kept doing it over and over, and he got so pissed. He's like, he made me switch controllers, and still, again, I was always first. He would try and do the exact same maneuver at the same time as me. I was always first. If I did the up missile shot, he lost every time, and it was the only thing I would do. I refused to do anything else, and he got so mad. He's like, I rented this yesterday. I've been playing it for a day and there's nothing I can do. And I was like, oh, you rented this yesterday? Well, guess what? This is all I'm ever going to do when we play this game now. Fuck you, dude. And so that's all I kept doing until he gave up and we stopped playing. Perfect Dark has some of the stages from GoldenEye and a lot more unique weapons. All right, on. Yeah, the golden gun. I remember that. Well, Massey, you make it your mission in life to try and make it hard on people you don't know. You can't imagine if you tried online as well. I'm actually a surprisingly nice guy. I tend to just try and entertain people and mostly be nice to them because that's just my fucking vibe. I'm not actually a dick. I just seem like one. But fucking with my friends, hell yeah. Zircon used to get yelled at for relentless trip kicks in Tekken. Yo, I remember like people yanking out controllers and shit. Thompson, you like the hedge maze area? Oh, in what, GoldenEye? Or are you talking about Perfect Dark? Jess, yeah, that's all you gotta do, man. If you got the fastest character and you can just keep disrupting them, they just lose. I remember when we played in the arcade, Mortal Kombat. I don't know if it was Mortal Kombat 2 or whatever. But like Raiden was the easiest one to button mash and somehow win. Because I wasn't good at it at all. I would just fucking smack on the buttons and move the joystick around. And Raiden was so busted that I would win the fight. It was on The World Is Not Enough. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. You said it right there. I never played that one. Never even heard of that one. But then I'm not really that big into James Bond. I just knew some people who had GoldenEye, and I tried it and was like, wow, this is actually a really cool game. But I was mostly about RPGs overall, you know? That's what RPG meant to me before Duke Nukem was role-playing game. RPGs are the best. Corey, you think N64 is the greatest console ever? It's alright. It's definitely had some banger games. I really loved the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo felt like such a huge step up from the Nintendo, and the games for the Super Nintendo were fucking incredible. Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, just even the game that came with it, Super Mario World, banger as fuck. The Super Nintendo is just like, it's the peak of the original gaming stuff, you know? It's just everything came together in such a sweet spot for it. I loved it. I loved it so much. Donnie, you had GoldenEye but didn't have an N64. You just take it to people's houses who had it. That's how much you liked it. Fair enough. I remember having a copy of River City Ransom when I didn't still have a Nintendo. I loved River City Ransom. Coroner, Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis were around the same time frame, so that's definitely not like too late for that kind of stuff. But it also was a matter in the old days. It was a matter of who had what video game systems around you. You know what I mean? Like most families didn't have all the video game systems. There'd be people who had Nintendo, there'd be people who had Genesis, there'd be people who had Atari, there'd be people who had the weird shit like fucking Neo Geo, right? There's like the Turbo Graphics. So different people had different systems. My dad started to get a number of systems. So I had access to a bunch of different video game systems, but not like everything. I never had like a Neo Geo or anything like that, but I did have like original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega Master System, Genesis, Sega CD, PlayStation, Turbo Graphics with the CD, the Sega 32X. There was a bunch. There's some more that I probably can't remember. But then you have access to just like the handful of games that you have or whatever. You don't have. It's not like when people go the emulator route and they have access to all the games, which is like. We live in an era that I fucking dreamed of as a child, where I was just like, imagine that you could just have access to like every Super Nintendo game whenever you wanted, and they were all just there for you to play. And now that's totally doable, right? Like, it's so, I've had fucking emulators on a ton of different devices, like just a ton of them. And then now you've also got like the Nintendo Switch store and stuff where Nintendo will actually straight up sell you these old games on your new consoles and stuff too. It's awesome. It's awesome. There was a lot of awesome stuff back in the day, and there's a lot of awesome games coming out now too, honestly. I love video games, bro. Of all different varieties. Varieties. Alright, I need to grab some more water. You guys behave. Don't fucking start any fires while I'm gone. Don't start any fucking fires. Don't be a dink! Use my Amazon link. When Hatchet goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatchet goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatchet goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. All right, I have rewatered. I got that water, boy. Oh, man. Had an awesome burger for dinner. Carly makes good burgers. I thought we were going to have like honey garlic sausage, and I was kind of like, it's okay. But then when I realized we were having burgers, it went to like, yes, this is awesome. I'm not having that shit that I don't really care about. I'm having something I actively want. The Jaguar, yeah, Millmaster. I don't think I knew anyone who had that. Definitely nobody I knew had the CDI. I remember playing, I think it was on an old Commodore, this game called Empire, and it was on like an actual cassette tape back when you used cassette tapes in the computers, which seems insane now. Like, technology has progressed to the point where this watch is like completely waterproof. It has a fucking, like a built-in MP3 player and Bluetooth that can hook to like random speakers, to my television, to whatever else. Like, it's just, the technology we have is fucking bonkers. Smartphones are absolutely insane what you can do with them. I remember when computers were fucking so janky, bro. I remember, we got the new Conan computer game. You can't even fucking play it because you don't have a good enough graphics card, right? Oh, sorry. You need a better graphics card. Or some other piece of your computer needs to be upgraded. Like, that happened every time. Every time you get a new game, you can't play it because your computer's not good enough. And so consoles were a breath of fresh air. You just put the game in and you could just play it, and there were no problems. Got a Nintendo game, got a Nintendo, you're good. That was great. Millmaster, did I ever play the BBS MMO Red Dragon? Do you mean Legend of the Red Dragon? Where you progress from level 1 up to level 12 by fighting monsters in the forest while also dueling people in the fields. And then once you hit level 12, then you fight against the actual Red Dragon himself? Yeah. Yeah, I played it. I played it and I broke it. I have had a knack over the years for finding the most exploitable parts of games and just busting them in half with nonsense. And Legend of the Red Dragon, did you know that when somebody beats the game 10 times, if you actually beat the Red Dragon 10 times, the game ends forever. Forever. And if anybody tries to log in and play, it will just display the message saying the game is over, it was won by, and then that's it. That's it. You don't go in and play anymore. Game's over, right? That I didn't know that was a thing until I beat it 10 times in 10 fucking days, basically. Because I went and played on a BBS where they had an amazing array of add-ons for Legend of the Red Dragon. Like so many different options, so many different like things you could do. One of them was a black market where like everything was for sale. And that is what I the way that I did this is really messed up. So, Millmaster, you know Legend of the Red Dragon. You know what happens if you go and hook up with like a tavern wench or whatever, right? You can go and hook up with the tavern wench, and then there's a small chance that she'll end up with a kid. And then she'll show up and be like, this kid's your problem, right? That basically is how it goes. So there's a very small chance that you can get a kid, okay? And I found out through experimentation that if you have children, the more children you have, the safer you become. And by that I mean, the way the game is programmed is whenever you get attacked by somebody who's going to take you out, there's a small chance that your child will do one of those, "Daddy, no!" and jump in the way. And then the child will die, but you won't take damage from the strike, and you will grief trigger. So it's like, oh, out of grief over the loss of your child, you furiously attack your opponent, cutting their hit points in half. So like, basically, sacrificing your kid will stop you from taking damage and do a 50% HP drain on the opponent. But it didn't trigger very frequently. But if you had a bunch of kids, the amount, like the percentage chance of that happening increases until it becomes 100%. So what I did was I went to the black market and I sold my experience points. I took the money from the experience point sale and I used it to buy hundreds of children. And then I walked into the fighting yard where you fight against other players, right? And I just started fighting everybody. I fought like it. I would fight like guys 6 levels above me because I would attack them, and it's like, you do 1 point. I'm just like, that. Oh, that's all I can do, 1 point, because my gear sucks. And then they would go to hit me. Oh, that's gonna be a big hit. Triggers a kid running in. "Daddy, no!" Dies. And I go, "I can't believe you killed child number 272. Take this and that." Right? And so then their hit points are halved. And so I would just keep throwing children into the meat grinder until I had halved their hit points down to 1, and then I'd kill them with a hit. And then I would inevitably level up a bunch from killing a guy much higher levels than me, and then I would go and sell the experience, spend some of that buying some more children, and then buy some strength boosts or whatever, and then I would just proceed to fight everybody in the field until I was level 12. And then I went to the forest, and because I was level 12, I could fight the red dragon. Now, with the red dragon, I had a very special strategy. What I did was I threw as many kids as it took to have its hit points all the way down to 1. The exact same fucking way I did with the players. So I rinse and repeated that for 10 days in a row, every day. Just walking in, slaughtering everybody, hundreds of dead kids. It was glorious. And then after the 10th win or whatever, I go to log in the next day, and it's just like, the game has ended. The red dragon has been defeated 10 times by me. And it had my name on the screen, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did it. I did it. Oop. I almost dropped my water. Can you imagine trying to explain Legend of the Red Dragon to someone who played an MMO in 2024? It's just like, think of like a book, right? Pierce, Trade Wars. I remember Trade Wars, actually. I played Trade Wars as well. I thought that was cool, the whole space adventure thing. The problem with the Trade Wars BBS that I played on was everybody had already built like fucking empires and shit. And so I just kept getting hosed. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I started offering my services as a mercenary, where I'd basically just go on a like, I'm going to throw my life away on this run and smash my spaceship into this sector and waste as many of their troops outside their planet or attack their planetary defenses. You pay me and I'll go on a run that'll end me. So that's how I started out. I put an offer up for that. Somebody fucking gave me the money for it. And I went, okay, here we go. And I crashed into the person successfully, right? Yeah, Pierce, exactly. You get it. You get a decent ship and someone just blows you up and you're just sitting there like, oh, great. Okay, so I'm back to nothing, right? So I kept getting hosed that way. I became a mercenary assassin instead. And I just started doing, I don't care, runs. Doesn't matter if I get wiped out. And I wouldn't spend any money on troops or anything. I would just fly my crappy little rinky-dink ship in there, do my deal, collect my money. And then the person that I attacked would just be like, yo, why did you do that? And I'll just be like, so-and-so paid me to do it. And then I'm like, and if you want to pay me, I'll do it right back to them. Like, totally the most cutthroat mercenary shit, where I was just like, I have no fucking loyalties to anything but coin, you know? So people would just fucking drop money in my account and tell me who they wanted to hit. And that's what I would do. I would just, boom, into the meat grinder again, building up my bankroll. And then one day I was rich. So I fucking bought myself a huge fucking battle cruiser and I loaded it down with fucking troops and a fucking, like, all kinds of weaponry and a Genesis torpedo that would create a fucking planet. And I flew to an unclaimed, uninhabited part of space and I made my own planet with a citadel on it. Right? Like with defensive measures and everything. I built myself a planetary base surrounded by a bunch of soldiers floating out in space ready to defend it. And people still thought I was an assassin. So they kept paying me to hit people. But I stopped. Once I had the battleship and the planet and stuff, I stopped. So I got a bunch of payments. And then they clued in that I wasn't doing the attacks. I'm like, wait a minute. It doesn't look like you've been doing any attacks. And I'm like, I fucking haven't. And if you want to discuss it with me, here are the coordinates I'll be at. And anybody who was dumb enough to show up got fucked up. Because it was just like, yeah, I told you where my fucking home planet is. My heavily guarded home planet. You show up, you get fucked up, right? So at that point, I was just like, thanks for the money, no fucking refunds. Yeah, Pierce, I can tell you've played it as well, man. It was fun. Jess, sometimes, yeah, you gotta go out of the box. I wouldn't have had any fun otherwise. I kept getting wiped out, so I had to figure out a way to build my own empire. And it worked out. One that I didn't really get to play that much, but would like to try again one day, is Land of Devastation. I would love if there was, like, just an easy way to get the old BBS games and play them. That'd be awesome. I feel like I've said this before, but as of yet, I have not encountered Like, here we go. You can just play the BBS games. Good times, you know? Like no little fucking program you can download that plays it on your computers. Mailmaster, yeah, I never played Drug Wars. Heavy Metal says, holy smokes, there's a wheel. There is a wheel, buddy. There is a wheel, and we're going to spin it. Honestly, I forgot it was a wheel stream. All right, so you're lower to the board. Let me put you up there, and we will go for a spin as well. Thanks for the super chat. Just going on a huge old nostalgia walk. The old BBS days. The idea, like, imagine the games you play today, kids, but they're just text-based. And to play them, you have to call Doug's house, because Doug's house is where the internet is. What? Yeah, you had to use your phone to call Doug's house. And then as long as nobody else was on the internet at Doug's house, you could play on the internet at Doug's house. All right, here we go. What's it gonna be? Oh, so close to insult, but it's more Duskmourn. Let's go. Let's look at some Duskmournage. See you later, corner. All right, we got... Oh, check it out. These are the moths that one Overlord guy makes. 2-1 flying insects. It's pretty cool looking, actually. It's got those gross mossed dust wings. Ugh. Foil innocuous rat. Forest. Oh, this is the one with the doors and stuff. It's pretty funky, actually. I like that. It's random. It's got a creepy vibe, but not like an overly creepy vibe. You wonder where the doors lead to. Pyre, and sometimes Doug's mom answered and cursed you out for making computer noises at her. Yeah. Or if you dial the wrong number, you hear people like yelling. They're getting pissed. All right. The Jolly Balloon Man is 1 white, 1 red, and 1 for a 1/4 with haste. Pay 1, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it's a 1/1 red balloon creature, in addition to its other colors and types, and it has flying and haste. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. And it looks like he's making fucking Newman heads. The guy who played Newman, that guy from Jurassic Park, they all look like his head. It's so random. I like the ability, though. It's fun. It's fun. Threats around every corner. What's this? 4-mana enchantment. When it enters Manifest Dread. Whenever face down permanent you control enters, search your library for a basic land. Put it on the battlefield tapped. Huh. Alright. Doesn't feel that great, actually. Under the Skin. Oh. Help me. I'm a Terminator Robocop demon. Exercise. What even is this? Is this supposed to be ghost busting gear? Is that what this is? 1 white and 1 sorcery, exile artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. It's a robot who wants a hug. Shroud Stomper, 7 mana for a 5/5 with Death Touch. When it enters or attacks, each opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2 life and draw a card. It looks like it like sucks you up into its legs. It doesn't look like it stomps, does it? Yeah, whatever. Pretty funky. Underwater Tunnel, Slimy Aquarium, seen that. Horrid Vigor. Oh, this is the one that gives Death Touch and Indestructible for 2. That doesn't feel very good. Wayne Knight, that's the name of him. I keep forgetting. Found Footage, the Tape, the Derelict Attic, the Ticket Booth, Casper the Friendly Ghost, and a Resurrected Cultist with a Boomerang Sword. 3 mana for a 4/1, and you can get them back from your graveyard with a finality counter if you've got Delirium. That's all right. That is all right. Ten for what? You have games on your calculator? calculators are still a thing? It's crazy because calculators are built into every cell phone. So the only time, when do you actually need a calculator? When you're like going to college or something and they're like, you gotta use a calculator to figure this out and we don't want you doing internet search, so you can't use your phone. Right? Is that it? There were tons you could get? Huh. Fair enough. I don't have my calculator from college anymore unless Carly tucked it away somewhere. Cuz that was fucking decade and a half ago now, pretty much. Man, time flies. Time flies, guys. It flies indeed. Oh, speaking of the time, I just noticed the time. It's time for us to be getting on up out of here. Thanks for coming and hanging out, my friends. We will get back together tomorrow, all right? So, goodbye for now. I'm going for a swim.